I sent you a link if you wanted, that has the audience. So if you want to drop it in your socials, that link, people can actually click on it and watch us live from your socials, not just from
Okay,
ours. I
gotcha.
don't know if you got it. I don't know if you
Now
saw it.
or today? Right
Yeah,
now?
we can go live right now.
Oh, oh, okay. I didn't know that's what you were saying. I was like, is this for another time?
No, no, we can go live right now and talk about the event and what we're gonna do and when it's coming. I've got it. I'm gonna have it go live. Oh wait, I'm live right now. Apparently, we're live right now. Um, so yeah, I'm putting it out there so that way anybody can kind of see. Um, we can talk about the event.
Okay, let me. I'm
Let's
trying to.
see.
Okay, there you go.
Mm,
I'm about to post it now.
I'm still trying to figure out how to do this whole TikTok live thing.
Oh, I never did TikTok before. I only do Facebook, Instagram,
Did you,
and
I don't
YouTube.
know if I sent it. You got it though, right?
Yes, I got it.
Cool. All right.
Yes, I
And
did
then what
send.
we'll do is we're gonna have somebody grab what we, whatever our parts are, cut out the
Okay.
extra, and then we'll drop it to you so that way you can actually post and promote the video.
Okay. Uh,
We'll talk about how much money people are gonna be making.
yeah.
We like, right,
Yes.
I am actually live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn.
Okay. I never go live on LinkedIn. I don't know why.
Yeah, I've recently been started doing it, and I joined a LinkedIn for Lawyers group,
Oh, okay.
which is actually really cool. But essentially, it's a group of about 8 or 10 lawyers, and there's like multiple groups, like there's 3 or 4 groups, and we get shuffled around, and so we
Okay.
all post at the same time on the same day once a week, and then we
Okay.
comment on each other's stuff. It is the coolest thing. And so by obviously, if you post and then people start commenting, it raises the profile of
Wow.
your posting.
Yes. Yes. I'm not really a social media person. So I found that on social media, the clientele that I'm looking for, if I do find them, it, I don't get a lot of clientele off of social media. Let's just say that. Not the clientele in which I'm seeking to find. Now, they
You know,
probably will come more off of Facebook versus Instagram, um, because more
well,
seasoned.
it's an older crowd,
Yes, it's
right?
an older crowd.
It's us
Yes.
Gen Xers and boomers and stuff, and
Yes.
yeah, like Snap
We-
and TikTok,
Yes.
and that's another group, and then Instagram. I think like I heard that TikTok has the super young and the super old,
Okay. And
boomers and
Instagram is
Gen Z.
more of the millennials and the teeny boppers.
Got it.
Yes.
For me, the only benefit that I get, which I think is really powerful, and I've just really started doing this in the last 6 months, right? And I just started about a month ago on TikTok, and I
Okay.
think all it does is it reminds the people that you do business with that you exist,
That
or
part.
your friends that you exist, right?
Yeah.
Because have you heard the story about Charles Walgreens, There's an old story of Charles Walgreens. You know, Charles Walgreens was the founder of Walgreens.
Yes, I know what
Okay.
that is.
So apparently we were plugging Walgreens today. So he was standing he's standing in the store, and the cashier was at the counter, and one of his friends comes in, blah blah blah, and they buy something, and he gives him a discount, and the friend leaves, right? And Charles Walgreens tells the cashier, he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, that's a friend of mine. I'm giving him a discount." He goes, "Nope, nope, 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 nope." He goes, "Listen, your enemies will not buy from you. Only your friends will. So charge your friends."
That's true.
And I think,
That
and here's what I've learned, that if you truly respect a person's work, you'll pay them for it,
you're paying for, you won't ask for a discount. I am totally a
right?
firm believer of that. I always
And I look. I mean, I'm Palestinian, right? So, we're always horse trading, right? So we're always looking for the best discount. We're Semites at heart, right? So my thing is, I'm going to ask. I'll ask for a discount, right? And whether they accept it, it's great. If you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. But I think where I struggle with is when I'm not going to not pay someone for the work, right? So we might haggle on the price and discuss it, and then we're good. And it depends, right? I'm not really not haggling on the basis of their value. I'm really haggling on my side. But at the same time, what I can accept is someone who doesn't pay at all.
right. So I tell people, wealthy people are for lack of a better word, the cheapest. They're very frugal. If they can
Yes.
get it for free, they will take it for free, but they still give you something for it because they know it's really not free. But they want
Right.
the least amount, they want to pay the least amount of money for whatever it is they're getting if they can get a bargain on it. They're always looking for a
Right.
bargain. They're not
Always
necessarily
looking for a
saying
bargain.
cheap, they're looking for a good bargain. Like, I know that the average price is $10 for something, but if I can get it for 8, I feel like I'm winning and I'm saving me 2.
So that's a great thing. So one of the things, it's about value, right? Value proposition. So it's like, what is the value of what I'm delivering versus my time that it's going to take? And also, I'm learning some new things. There's a couple people that I'm following, and one of the things I'm reading Hormozi's books. I don't know if you know Alex Hormozi. He's
No.
got this great program. Um, I mean, I've learned a lot from him, from his books, right, and his videos and everything else. But it's like, you do a value. If they want, instead of a discount, I'll give you more.
Okay.
I'll give you a little extra. I'm not going to
Okay.
lower my price, but I'm going to give you more services or give you more things.
Okay. That makes sense.
And like I had a client today was like, "Hey, like, I solved his problem. I solved the problem." And he's like, "Hey, can you just lower your fees?" And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, "Listen, bro, when you came to me, you were facing a judgment. You had an aggressive attorney. They were trying to foreclose on your house. They were going after your business. You had a judgment of $100,000 and $200,000, and they're coming after you. Like, when you came to me, you were totally fucked.
Yes. Sounds
And
like it.
now we took whatever that was and settled it for like 10% of what you're owed. You're not losing your house. You're not losing anything. They're not touching your business. And we totally settled everything.
And you want me to give you a break?
And you want me to give you a break.
That doesn't even make sense at all.
So, but I respect it. Like, I understand, and my thing is, I'm gonna go back and I'll look at my fees and see if there's anything I can adjust, because I want to be fair. But
But at the same time, you should have asked for that at the beginning. Don't wait till I save you some money and ask. In the beginning, when you was in distress, because this is my thing. So my IT guy called me yesterday, the other day, because something wrong with the website. And
mm,
he said, we need, because your site is 5 years old, it's old. I'm like, it's not, that's fine. But technology, 5 years is old. When you
right,
start talking plugins and different type of components, they're no longer responding to my site. So we have to do a workaround or fix whatever the problem is. So he says, I says, well, how much is this gonna cost? Because
right,
I'm gonna
yeah.
tell you right now, if you say the wrong number, we're just not gonna have this feature right now because
We're just gonna leave it alone. Yeah,
I said Times is really hard over here. I know if y'all watching because he's in India. I said, I know you. I'm not sure if you're watching what's going on in the news, but we are really in a recession here. Like if they didn't tell you, we're about to hit a depression. They keep talking that the things are great and the economy is doing well. It's not. The lies they tell. I went to the store yesterday and bought 4 items, and I spent $47.93 for 4 items that I would have typically gotten for like about $25.
Oh yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
So when he told me the price, I was like, okay, it was already in my budget. So I said, fine, I'll do it. I didn't even bother to negotiate it down because I already had a budget in my mind what I was going to pay. So because I could have said, well, can you do it for less? But it's what I can afford. And I'm more of a person, you get what you pay for. And once you set me a price, now I have an issue with you give me a price, and then once you start working on it, you come back and tell me you need to give you some more money. And then I'm gonna have an attitude because I budget for what you told me it was going to cost.
Right.
So if you come in, you can negotiate. I tell people everything is negotiable. The question is, am I gonna negotiate? Am I gonna change my mind after we discuss it?
Correct.
My price, and certain things I'm not going to do at this price below my price point because I have a budget of what I need to bring in order to keep paying the people that work for me. However,
Which is why in my contracts I have, if the scope changes or if the nature of the case changes, I get to adjust my price point.
now that's
Because
definitely
sometimes what we thought was going to happen isn't actually what starts playing out. Like I've seen, like we've got a lot of, especially in the commercial foreclosure cases, the commercial cases, what ends up happening is you start with one problem and all of a sudden it like blows up into like 10 bigger problems.
now that makes sense. That there, absolutely. But you telling me, um,
I'm going to paint the wall for $10, then I come in and say
$10,
now it's going to be
you come in,
$500 because
I thought it was going to be a lot easier to get the wallpaper off. You looked at the job, didn't you? You didn't try to
peel that
get
paint off. See what it was like.
peel the paint off and see if it works. No,
Right.
you said you were going to do the job at the price point in which you're charging me, and now that you in the job, now you want to charge me more money. That doesn't work. And I tell my contractors all the time, you need to put a contingency in place. That's what contingency is for. Now, if I exceed the contingency, when something becomes more challenging, you need to buy more product. You thought that you were going to only have to use, based off what you did, was going to have to do 4 pieces of drywall. But then when you changed the drywall out, you turned around and found out, I'm sorry, I'm getting lunch. You know, we're supposed to have
Well,
this
as long
call.
as you're sharing with all of us, that's fine. What'd you get for lunch?
I got a jerk chicken wrap.
Oh, there we go. I love
Yes.
jerk chicken. Jerk spices are awesome.
With some soup. But I'll eat it after the call.
What kind of soup?
Tomato bisque.
Tomato bisque. That's good
Yes.
soup.
Yes. So like for instance, I had to rebuild on 35th and King Drive. I had a building. It had 2 balconies that were cemented balconies, but over time they were about to collapse and fall. So we had to
Right.
take the whole front of the building down and tear down the balconies. And they have these lintels in there that hold these beams that hold the balcony support. So the contractor that bid it on the job, he was like, well, I didn't know they were that damaged. I figured they might be. I said, well, then you should have budgeted for at least some of them to be repaired.
Or
he was
put a
like,
carve out and said, hey, I don't know what are your assumptions on the project?
exactly. But he didn't do any of that. So we ended up, this is my negotiation. He was like, well, you need to replace 4 of them. I said, but you didn't budget for any of them. And you won't. And how much is this going to cost? Because I'm already having a budget. He was like, okay. I said, well, what is your contingency for it? Like, so I always, even with my clients, when I get a budget, I'll put in a contingency for the contractors before I give my clients a price. Because I already know they're gonna be past our contingency, his contingency. I don't know why they do it. I don't know. I'm like, what do you all be thinking? And maybe it's because I'm an accountant. By my first trade, my first job
Oh,
was
totally.
accountant.
Oh, it's totally that. Are you familiar with DISC profiles?
No.
Oh, DISC is like a personality and behavioral assessment. You should look it up. It's really cool. You should take the DISC assessment.
I've heard
But
of Collins and a lot of the other ones, but I never heard of that one before.
DISC is a good one. But essentially, there's like DISC and different types of personalities, different types of things. And
Hmm.
just as a drop in for now, people, since I mentioned it, um, to give you an idea, like the different types, like a D would be like an eagle, right? So personality of
Okay.
an eagle. So a
Okay.
hunter, fast, quick, no
Okay.
bullshit, no one screws around with them.
I'm
They're
taking
kind of a
personality.
loner,
Yes,
right?
I've
They
done.
get shit
I'm a,
done.
yeah, I'm a licensed counselor too, by the way.
Got it. Well, then the other one is
Career. So
I.
I do career, so I know about the different career assessments and things like that. Like what? So for me, I use both sides of my brain. Most
Got
people
it.
don't. So if you're artistic or you're enterprise, like if you're a person that's analytical, you won't be. Most people won't be artistic. That's analytical. They're
Hmm.
going to just stay in that space, and things just have to be structured and confined. I'm not artistic, but I do use the side of the social and emotional. So like artistic social people, they're on the right side, and then the analytical and investigative personalities use the left side of the brain, right? Well, I use both sides of my brain. I can be very empathetic about something, but with the click of a switch, I can be not compassionate, and I'm looking at the facts. It's black and white. What is it? So
Right.
sometimes people confuse my directness as lack of empathy and mean. But when I'm in my direct mode, I am. But but before I even get to it is what it is, we're not gonna. I said what I said. I have exhausted all the avenues of helping you to succeed and not get us to this point of me saying no point of return. And that's with my tenants. I will call. I've given you notices. I've communicated with you about things, and now we're at the final line, and it is what it is. Now we're here because once I called the lawyer, now you've gotten to the side of I'm not coming back. I'll be on the phone with the attorney. He be like, "Well, Tiffany, maybe we can." I'm like, "And we can't." And that my answer still is no, and I'm not changing. Even when I do sales transactions, I tell my clients, I said, listen, I work for you. How bad do you want this property? If it's important enough to you, I will go the extra stretch for you. And I'm going to give you an example. I am a communicator. I am a person that over communicates, and that's why my deals close. So
Okay.
if the deal doesn't close, 9 times out of 10 is dealing with the financing, or the other party is not willing to make any accommodations for the issues that we have found. And I'm telling my client, if they want to walk away, we can walk away. But
Right.
I've been doing this for 25 years, and I have closed 90% of my deals if they go to
That's
if we get
awesome.
it on it. Okay. Now,
That's a good close rate.
how does that happen? I have gone through the valley and over the sea to get my clients that property. But prior to us even me putting them on the market, or even me taking them out to look at it, I explain the process. Because for most people, it's either their first time selling it or their first time buying it.
Yep. And I think by doing that, you set people's expectations. And I found
Yeah.
that when you set and communicate the expectations ahead of time, people are comfortable. It's the surprise shit that they don't like. They don't like being surprised or caught off guard. And it's like, wait, you didn't say, I didn't understand that.
And a
And the
lot of
fear.
times people don't communicate. So I'm gonna give you this property that we had. It was crazy. My client saw the property. It had hit the market at 12 o'clock. She called me at 12 o'clock. Oh, this property came to market. Can we go see it? We went to see it at 4 o'clock that same day. They was like, we love it. We want to put a contract on it. I said, okay, let me go do a market analysis to see if it's priced right. When I did the market analysis, I said, oh, it's overpriced. They're not going to get this. Now, mind you, the developer, the person that was rehabbing it, hadn't did all the bells and whistles, hadn't had temp lights up. They hadn't put the shower or the closet units in. They hadn't finished up all the finishes. They was going to put a fence
Right.
up. They hadn't did any of
The
that.
last
They
part,
just
right.
had the walls was painted, the floors looked good, the cabinets was in, but they hadn't put the nice light fixture they wanted to put in. They didn't do any of that. So I says, they said, well, we want a glass shower door in the bathrooms. We want the closet organizers put in the master bathroom. I said, okay. So we brought that all into the contract. They finished up all of these things that were incomplete in order for us to get it. I said, we're going to offer them full asking price because you're going to get it for less than that.
Why?
So, God, probably, let me tell you about it. So,
All right.
they say,
Okay.
okay. So the lender tries to get me to have my clients to increase their price and do something for their down payment. I said, no, we're not doing that because it's not going to price at what they're asking. And then my client is going to be on the hook for not getting the repairs they wanted. And because their down payment is looped in something crazy he wanted to do. So they didn't, they didn't do that. So now they're saying the seller wants to do the appraisal now to see what it appraised for. I said, okay, now listen, you all should not do this appraisal now because the house is not finished. He want it now. He want it now. I said, okay. Now, I hate to say this and sound like a sexist, but I was the only female on this transaction. Everybody else.
Well, that's been. I mean, that one. That's obvious, right? Not only you're probably the only black female on the transaction.
No, everybody was black on the transaction except for the seller.
Not a black female.
But not a black female. Definitely not.
Right.
All women.
So the stereotypes and all the prejudice and all the racial bullshit. Even though everybody's black, there's still the internal.
Yes.
The internalized depression, I call it. Yes.
Yes, but I can't possibly know what I'm doing, and I'm like, okay.
And you're just the real estate agent.
That's all. I'm just a real estate agent. I'm a woman, female that just sells real estate. That's all I do all day long. Good job.
Right.
I said it's not going to break. I'm telling you all, finish up the finishings so you can at least get what you're asking for. What we offered you for this price. No. We're going to do it now. So they did it. It came back $30,000 below asking.
Love it.
$30,000. So when it comes back, they came with all these comps. They went to, I said, them comps are not going to work because they're too far out. They're not the right size. Like prior to that even happening.
And once the appraisal's done, the appraisal's done. That appraiser is not adjusting.
It was FHA. So it's 6 months that this is going to stick. So.
And not just for you, but for any other FHA buyer.
Exactly. So now everybody want to come talk to me about what we.
I don't think let's talk about that for a second. I mean, I know this is not a podcast here, and we're just jumping, but so just so people understand, when you get an FHA loan, right, and you get an appraisal, that FHA appraisal is tagged for that property and will last for 6 months. So even if I, as the buyer, FHA buyer, and I cancel the deal, the next FHA buyer who comes in 30 days from now is going to use that same appraisal. It carries with the property, not with the borrower.
Yes.
Which is only FHA. So they completely screwed themselves. I love it. Okay, go on.
Absolutely. So now everybody's hot, but me and my clients are happy because I told them, but that's me doing my due diligence. So now I'm supposed to negotiate what we going to take off. I was like, so I told my clients, so now I'll go back to my clients. I said, listen, they're not about to do all of these extra things that you ask for with a $30,000 decrease in value. And you're not going to be able to, and they're not going to be able to sell it for anything more than, and you can't pay. I'm not going to even recommend you pay $30,000 over what the financing is out your pocket, because that was the case, you'd be conventional and put down more of a down payment to get a lower interest rate. Because mind you, at this time, this was like 2018. So the market was 2017, 2018. So the market was picking back up. Interest rates were low. So it was inventory and low interest rates. So it was, they still, I was like, because we can go look at another house. It's plenty of houses to buy. Unlike now, we have high interest rates and limited inventory. Back then, we had low interest rates, but people still weren't buying because they were still in shock from the 2008 crash. They were still a little reluctant. So I had plenty of more inventory to go sell them in that area where this house was. So
Right.
I told the broker, I said, listen, he was like, so now they got the designated broker. I was working with just his regular broker. Now they didn't got the designated broker. So now it's two designated brokers talking. So in real estate, for those who don't know, there you have a managing broker, a broker and a managing broker, but you have a designated managing broker. The designated managing broker is the person who actually is the broker over the entire brokerage. They run the brokerage. So I am a designated broker. I have brokers that work underneath me, and some of them can be managing brokers, but they're not brokers that run the brokerage. So they give us to distinguish us between a managing broker that just has a managing broker's license versus a managing broker who runs a brokerage. They call us the designating brokers.
So the
So I'm a
managing
designated
broker
broker.
is the designated broker.
Yeah, the designated managing broker is the managing broker who manages the broker.
Because we don't have real estate salespersons anymore. Everybody's a broker.
Everybody's a broker. And so there's the only type is a broker and a managing broker. And then if you a managing broker, you can run a brokerage. You can be the manager over the brokerage, but they'll give you the title of designated managing broker, which lets people know that you run and operate that brokerage. So now we have two designated brokers talking about this transaction, because now we're talking $30,000 is a lot to lose on a transaction, and you still making repairs. So the first problem is the broker who was the broker that sold the client the property must not have provided comps to let them know that this is what the properties in the area are selling for. And 6 months from now, based off of previous 6 months of sales, the growth is not going to be that significant that that you can change an appraisal value. Because let's get this clear. The appraisals are set off of what the average homes in the community are selling for. However, there can be an increase in the value of the appraisal if certain extra things are done that's not like other properties in the area. So they'll take a house that's similar to yours and find a property. They will like it to be in a 1 mile radius, but they'll go further. If he's a good appraiser, he'll go further out to find that property that's identical to yours in the neighborhood next door, even if it's over a 5 mile the 1 mile radius, because he wants to make sure he's giving you the accurate value versus appraising your property on a house in the same 1 mile radius that doesn't even look like your property, doesn't have the same square footage, doesn't have the same amenities, and he's devaluing your property value. He doesn't have to stay in a 1 mile radius. He just has to justify why he feels that this property should be increased in value. So the bank's only going to take what they give them on appraisal report. And on appraisal report in the 30-mile radius, in the 1 mile radius, and the 2 mile radius, there was nothing that was $30,000 above asking price of what they were on this property. And they did not have all the bells and whistles, because the appraiser only can appraise what they see that's in front of them. They will not praise off what you're going to do. They're praising off what you have already done. So we ended up, my client said they really wanted the property. I told them these are the things that they're going to pull back on for giving you. And if you're okay with that, we can move forward. So my client said, okay, we can take that off. They ended up taking the fence off. No, they kept the fence, but they took out the glass shower, the high-end closet organizer, but they still wanted to keep the fence. And so they ended up working out the price. And then the broker was like, well, can you come down? The designated broker for the seller was like, well, can you come down on your commission? So I told him I'll only come down on my commission if your commission is the same amount as mine. Because what I'm not going to do is take a commission cut and you still get the same commission you negotiated with your client who's taking the loss.
No, not doing that.
Not doing that. Definitely not. Because
I get that with real estate attorneys. So we do these bifurcations. I don't know if I think you sent us a deal that, but are we doing a buy with you or are you doing a sale?
I got two buys I sent to you. I sent you one,
Yes.
and then we got two buys, and then my broker Lanesia sent you one too.
That's right. That's right. Oh, Lanesia's with you. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So on the buys, we're doing $1,000 refund,
Yes.
right? So, and that's because the title company, right? Usually the seller's attorney makes all the title. And
Right.
so the buyer's paying between $3,000 to $5,000 in title fees. And so
Right.
I get that from the seller's attorney. So what we do is we bifurcate. So we take the buyer's title away from the seller's attorney, and the seller's attorney, ends up making $1,000 or so less than what they would have made. So they still make $3,000 instead of making $4,000, they made $3,000, right?
Right.
I can't tell you the number of attorneys that call me and they're like, really? You're like taking money? Like that's not really how things happen. And that's not how we do things in this state. And you're just being really greedy and taking more than you're supposed to take. And I'm like, bro, you're making $4,000. And if you add your attorney's fee, you're making $4,800. And I'm only making between $650 to $750. And you're okay with me getting only that little amount while you make all that big money?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. I'm sharing. We're sharing.
Right.
Like so when on the bifurcation, I'm very open with my clients. We'll actually, and I have arrangements with the title companies I work with, where we'll collect $2,000 or so from that
Okay.
transaction, and then I take
Mhm.
from that too, and I give $1,000 to the buyer,
Your client, and you
right,
keep
to my
it.
client as a refund.
Right.
And
Exactly.
and it's unbelievable how many attorneys get super pissed. I had one attorney call me, and he told my team, he was like, "Listen, man, things are tough, and it's a little hard, and business is down, and I could really use those funds. I was really looking forward to, counting on it." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I call him, and I'm talking to him. I'm like, "Hey, bro, I heard the situation. I've got a situation because I got to pay my." I swear, I was very much open to finding him a solution
Mm-hmm.
until he told me I was being greedy.
And that's what, and then I wouldn't, then that's it. Right. No, you're just struggling. That's your issue. So maybe you need to figure out what you're doing to not get the business. Like sorry, you need to do what you need to do to figure out how you build your business. You shouldn't be mad because I done figured out a way to get more more business and more revenue in from my company. Maybe you should think outside the box.
Well, that's what they tell me. They're like, "Well, you just need to go get more sales." I'm like, okay, but why should I take a hit and a loss on this file and make money on that file? No, I want to make money on both files.
Wow, exactly, as you should.
Why should I lose money in order to hope I get other money? That doesn't make any sense.
It
Like the
doesn't make
amount of
any
time the buyer's attorney spends on a file is a lot of time, right?
Yes, you are
Look,
too.
we've built, and you've interacted with them, you've connected with my team. Like I've built a team about customer service, communication, technology, driving. Like I am put a lot of, so that way we can make an amazing experience for our client. That costs money.
Yes, and I love how you all sent out the a calendar appointments of like what's expect. I like that. I was like, oh,
Thank
this
you.
is that. I
Thank you.
like that. And I just added to my calendar so it helps me keep track of the
Oh
deadline.
yeah.
I
We
was
do
like,
it, we do it to the whole team. It's funny. This is really funny. So I got to tell you. So my dad taught me very early on. He's like, just keep moving. Just make decisions. The worst thing you can do as an entrepreneur or as a business manager is not to make decisions, right? Do not paralyze yourself. Just make decisions. And if you make mistakes, you fix them later. So we started sending out those text messages, and they're all day. It's not a specific time. It's an all day event, right?
Okay.
So, and then we send notifications. So you'll get a notification a week ahead, 2 days ahead, the day of, right?
Mhm.
What we didn't realize is that because it's an all day event, that text notification comes in at midnight.
Oh, okay.
So we had opposing we were sharing with opposing counsel. I get a call the next morning at like 7 a.m. and the attorney's like, seriously, sir, why are you texting me at 1 o'clock in the morning? And I'm like, oh, we should fix that.
Yes. Sorry, my
We should
bad.
fix that. Thank you for the update, and I appreciate, and we're going to fix that.
Yes.
So
But yeah,
I
it's
don't
definitely
claim we're not perfect.
none
Not
of us
perfect.
are. It's just trial and error. I just implemented on my management side, a new program because 2 tenants in the last 6 months have set their kitchen on fire. So, yes. So the good part is they have renters insurance. Because they have renters insurance, we just put the bill to the renters insurance and they give us reimbursement for the damages. And it helps minimize my client's insurance
I
so that
love that.
they don't have to put a claim against their own building insurance, which will go up. If an owner put in a claim versus a rental claim,
Do
it's going to
you
go
if
up.
so do you do that with your like CHA Section 8 clients as well?
Everybody.
And they can afford to pay the insurance?
Yeah, they can afford to pay it. It's required. So let me tell you what happens if they don't pay it. If they don't pay the insurance, we automatically bill to their ledger $15 administrative fee, and I get $100,000 liability policy for the owner's property. So if they don't have it, we already automatically have insurance. So I'm implementing this now because first thing that came through my mind was, what if these people didn't have insurance and let their insurance lapse? Because we don't know. Like you can for the CHA tenants, it's on their lease agreement that they have to have renters insurance. Like it's just, and so if they don't have it, they can go get their own third party. But if they don't have it, it's automatically going to be charged $15 because they're violating their lease agreement. In their lease
Right.
agreement, you have to have renters insurance. It's a requirement. We put it in their lease. Renters insurance is required. It's not an optional. It is a requirement, especially in the city of Chicago. On the lease, it has an area of rental insurance information. So so I had talked to real estate my eviction attorney about like the legalities of it. He said we can bill them the $15. We can either if we take it out of their security deposit, they don't pay it at the end. By the time they move out, it would just have to be classified as rent. So it'll become a part of their rent if they don't have it at the end of the
I love
move
it.
out.
Okay.
That we had to cover for them. It'll become rent, but it's $15. And believe it or not, people think that that's a lot. But if you're eating fast food for lunch and dinner, that's only one fast food meal a month, and it covers at least the owner's property. Because I
For
had
one
another
person.
for one person. I had another tenant that didn't have it, and they set my client's house on fire and burnt the entire house up, and they didn't have renters insurance. So
Wow.
and they was displaced, and the owner was like, I don't have to find you a place to stay because my insurance is not giving me funds. Your renter's insurance helps you find a place to stay. My insurance gets this unit back into the condition, but now her insurance on that damage has went up, on that property has went up because of the fire that they didn't cause. Somebody set the garbage can on fire, and it was by the house, and the whole house just burnt up.
Wow.
So I implemented this in new policy because the first one I did, I was like, well, I got to tell my clients about it because if they don't pay, the owner has to pay the $15 for the tenant. If they don't pay the bill until the tenant moves out. So that's $15 that's coming out of their rent. So I had to run it by them, but I sent them, and a lot of the owners was like, Tiffany, that's what I like about you. You're really proactive. That's a great program that you put in. I appreciate that. And I was like, well, but as business owners, and that's for brokers that are on the sales side, and for anyone that's really in business, you have to help your clients navigate through the transaction at the least expensive way. And
You got to
how do
provide value to your client.
exactly. And how do you do
Like
that?
my motto for us is the client should leave us better off than when we found them.
That is great. And it should be. And a lot of people are so worried about making enough money that they don't. So I went to this workshop about how to be a motivational speaker, and I realized I want to be a motivational speaker. So
You
we
do
were
or you
sitting in a
don't?
workshop. I don't.
Okay,
that's
but it's
nothing.
good to
I
know.
gotta
You
know.
gotta, I mean, we're motivating our team, we're motivating our clients, we're motivating all the
Yes.
time. So, yeah, it makes sense.
So I had thought about I wanted to do it, but it's time consuming. Unless I get some free time, no. So the gentleman, he's like a renowned world speaker. I don't remember his name now. And he did this workshop, and we sit in the workshop, and I paid a good little penny for the workshop, but it was some valuable information that I took away for that pretty little penny I took for this workshop.
Of
And
course.
he said if he asked everybody like how much money do you want to make out your business, and people was putting out all of these different numbers, and he said to us, you will never make that amount of money. And we all looked at him like he was like, you won't. He said if you're doing the job to make the money, you'll never reach your goals. But if you do the job because you love what you do and put everything you have into it, the money will come and you'll exceed what you set your expectations for to make.
Fair. Fact.
Kept that with
Facts.
me. And
Facts.
so I removed how much money I want to make and put in place how I want my clients to feel when they're done doing business with me. And I have exceeded what I initially started out wanting to make in business by just doing good business. That when people leave, they say she was worth everything I paid her, and I would have actually give her a tip. And because and I tell them the best tip you can give me is a referral, and then they
Hmm.
send me new business. I've been doing business now. I've been doing it 26 years now.
You started when
April
you were 5.
1st, April
You were
1st made
5
my
years old when you started.
yes. April 1st made my anniversary, and when everything that I did up until this point, now I'm actually putting a marketing strategy together. Before, it was just simply word of mouth. Somebody telling somebody they heard about me. They was doing a search maybe on like YouTube or one of them that we popped up and somebody had said something, so they went to look for us and then they saw, and that's how we got our business. Like I have never ran like a campaign or ad or like solicited business. It's all been via word of mouth and referral from other people. And I had a client. I said, you he sold off his properties and said he was gonna self-manage. I was like, oh yeah, you don't even believe I can handle it. He's like, no, I believe in you. He said, but I just couldn't afford you at this time. He said, but I sent
Mm.
my friends to you. That's me showing you I believe in you. I said, but I still had to do the work to show them that I was capable of doing the work. He said, you did. He said, but I knew you was capable of earning that business when I sent them to you. I referred them, and then you showed them that you're worth having as a real estate professional that works with them. So I sell them the properties, I manage it for them, I rehab it for them. And he gave me a nice book of business of friends that he referred from me doing good business with him. So I tell people all the time how you interact with your clients will determine the longevity of your business, but consistency is important.
Got it. Well,
You got to be
I'm gonna hit you up with something right now. I agree. It's all about consistency, but I want to talk about our event.
yes.
So one of the things that I want you to do is you should have gotten the Eventbrite, okay?
Yes. Yes.
And we are promoting it on a whole bunch of channels and a whole bunch of things with our stuff. And so the way I do the Eventbrite and I do it is we charge like I don't know $20 or $30 for the ticket, but for everybody that I connect with and wherever I advertise it, I give them a discount code for that location. So, for example, if I promote it on my email blast, it would be Bowtie email. So
Okay.
they type in that code, and I know where they got the notice from,
Okay.
right? And it's free. So if you're
Okay.
connecting through my network, it's free. But if you're some
Okay.
random Joe Schmo, I don't know you, then look, you're gonna have to pay, or you gotta find a way to become my friend somehow, right?
Okay.
So I just sent a message to my team to make sure that they get to you. And I got this. Have you met Aaron?
No.
Aaron Noriega. He's amazing. He's with Neighborhood Home Loans.
Okay.
Brilliant young man, great team. They get shit done, and really serves his clients. Like he really takes
Okay.
care of them. So I really like him a lot. And he's actually so kind enough is he's actually hosting the event at their location in
Okay.
Downers Grove. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you. Tell me if you can just send an email to my team of all your social media and everywhere you're blasting it. So if you're sending it out email, if you're sending out Instagram, we'll send you those discount codes. So now we
Okay.
can only track that they're coming from your team, right? So
Okay.
all your connections, as well as what mediums gave the most return for you.
Okay. Cool.
So if you blast it out to all your friends on email and you do a huge blast, it'd be the discount code is TIFF email, right?
Okay.
And if it's on your Instagram, you're going to post that, then you put TIFF IG, right?
Okay.
And so just if you can let them know which ones, and I'll send it to you so that way we can help you figure out what you're getting the most return from in
Yes.
terms of who
So
should
I'm going to put
registers.
it on I'm going to send out a blast to my constant contact. I have constant contact, so I'm going to
Perfect.
develop. I was working on Tuesday, but I was so tired. I mean, Thursday, I was so tired. Uh, so today, after this interview, I'm going to finish working on it, and so I can send it out to all of my people via constant contact, all the brokers
Good.
that
So
I
let's
work
make
with.
sure that Laura and my team sends you that discount code for your constant
Yes.
contact to get blast out. And
Yes.
we just got to keep blasting it out and getting it out there. I mean, it's 2 to 4, right? So
Yes.
here's what we're talking about, people. So what is the event? Tiffany, what are we talking about on April 13th, right?
Yes. April 13th.
And that's a Monday, right?
Hey, you know what you asking me, and you
I
know.
know I can't. Well, April 13th
Yes,
is
it's
a Monday. Yes.
Monday. It's a Monday. But we're on the same
Monday.
page. It's Monday.
Yes. All right. So it's on a Monday, 2 to 4.
Yes.
Monday, April 13th. Let me get to Monday, April 13th. Monday, April 13th. From closing table, wait, what is it? From offer to closing table.
Yes. And it's definitely for everybody, even though if you're not a broker, you're not not a licensed broker, you're not a realtor, you're not in the business as a consumer, what you would need to know that we do so you know what you're paying for.
Absolutely.
A lot of people think, oh, I don't know anything about real estate and I need a broker, and you're going to hire someone, but you don't even know what they're offering you. You don't know what
You
they're
don't know, you
supposed to
don't
be
even know if they
doing.
did a good job.
You don't even know they did a good job. So they
You know what
didn't
your
negotiate
expectations are.
you. You didn't agree to pay this commission, but you don't even know if they're worth what they're paying. You don't know if
Right.
they're doing what you paid them to do. And unfortunately, there has been a lot of transactions that I had to work both sides of the transaction to
Uh-huh.
ensure my client got the property because the person that was representing the other side wasn't doing their due diligence. But the person that hired them didn't even know what they were supposed to be doing in the first place. So they assumed that got what they paid for, and they didn't because I was doing it. I have a lot of times, I have showings that there's no brokers there, but they want a commission check. How are you selling
Wow.
real estate and you're not present for the transaction, but you want to be paid? I'm glad that they have now made buyers and sellers have two different transactions. I've always did a buyer's agreement with my buyers. So I've always gotten my commission from my buyer because I knew that's where the money came from.
Got
But
it.
when they had where it was appeared as if it was coming from the seller side and not from the buyer's funds, a lot of people were lazy in the transactions. So now, if I come with my client, I'm going to get it sold. And I have had times where buyer brokers wouldn't show a listing because the commission wasn't being paid out to the price point that they wanted. I got a buyer and they was like, I wanted to see this house. And the last broker I worked with told me it was already sold. No, they only asking for 1.5% commission on here and they don't want to pay it. They want a 5% commission. But they should have negotiated with you their 5% commission so that they can get the commission that they wanted versus looking for the seller to pay them what felt they was worth. You have to sell. We're in the business of sales. If you can't sell yourself to make people think that you should get paid what you want to get paid, what your commission base is, then that's your problem. That's not fair to the client that they have to not see a property because you don't feel you're making enough money off of it.
Correct. Correct. I agree. And I mean, this whole new system is that's a whole nother story. But I totally think this is for first time home buyers, any home
Yes.
buyer, any investor,
Yes.
anybody looking to sell real estate, anybody looking to buy real estate.
Yes.
This is the perfect event to learn what you need to know from beginning to end. We're going to have And we're working on that out. What to expect from each professional, from the lawyer, from the broker, from the sales broker, from the buyer's broker, from the title company, from the lender, what each person is going to do for you and what you should expect for them. Because a lot of times people may have expectations that may be wrong, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Like in my opinion, like we'll walk our client through the contract, right? Walk them through it, and that's a new thing, right? Like we'll talk about here's the general terms, but we had a client that came to us and was like, well, how come you didn't walk me through the entire contract from beginning to end? I had no idea about this, and I'm like, well, that's what the real estate broker's for.
Right.
The real estate broker from the sale and the buy, they walk you through the contract of what
That's
your
what-
terms are.
Yes.
Now, we have decided to add that as a feature of our representation, is saying, okay, our TC will reach out to the client and say, okay, here's our agreement, here's what to expect, and by the way, here's the contract, right? But that's extra stuff that we do, which is fine. We have no problem. I like doing that. That just gives more touch with the client. But what should you expect from the lender, right? What should you expect from the title company? Why are you paying all these fees? What are they for? Do they make any sense? Like people think, oh, like I have had a lot of these mastery guru fucking real estate geniuses that have all these videos about how amazing they are and come buy my program, and they don't understand title. Like they don't understand, why do you need a title policy? Why do you need endorsements? Why do you need a CPL? Right? Like what is a CPL? It's a closing protection letter. That makes sure that the title company doesn't steal your money.
Mm-hmm.
People don't
But they
understand that.
They don't, and it has never been taught. So, and another thing, in Illinois, we're a unique state, because if you go like in the South, they don't even use attorneys. They go
No.
from the broker to the title company.
Yep. I don't understand that. Like I can't imagine like the
An
number
attorney-
of deals that I've had to protect and save by being in the deal. Like you are buying, if you're buying a house, I can pretty much guarantee, right? Most likely, I'll say, I'm not gonna say guarantee, I'd say 90, 99, 95%, this is gonna be the most expensive transaction you have done to date.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're buying something for $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $700,000. This is the most expensive thing you've ever bought to date.
Yes, and it's the longest commitment you have to
The
date.
30-year commitment, right? You don't think you'd want a lawyer to look at it to make and the lawyer's the only one who doesn't get paid on commission.
Yes.
So
Y'all get a
with
flat
respect
fee.
to brokers, obviously there are brokers who only care about the commission. I know we're not talking about you like that. And I know there's a lot of people that I work with don't do that. But at the end of the day, you're going to want someone who is getting paid whether the deal closes or not,
Right.
because they've got nothing vested. So
Correct.
it's a crazy world. Like I've had people like, well, can you do it for like $50 less? Bro, you're buying a $700,000 house. Are you kidding me right now? No.
Ask your broker. And so, as a broker, I mean, when they ask me, I'm like, well, you gonna ask your lender to take some of his fees away? But he giving the money. I said, but I ran you around the city, looking at all these different properties. My time is money. You don't
Right.
see the added value because you haven't paid for it up front. If I made you put some money down up front, you'll probably realize how valuable I am and you'll get use of it, good use of it. But I get my money on the back end because I can show you 100 properties and you still not buy one. I don't get a check until we're at the closing table. I tell my clients all the time, you don't own a property or your property has not sold until they slide our property management a check across the table.
That's it.
If I don't get a check, the property is still belonging to the party that holds it.
Correct. That is correct.
So until then, I'm going to do all the necessary steps I need to take to ensure that this deal closes and we all can
Correct.
make some money out of here
That is correct.
or get
is
what we
correct.
came to the closing table to receive. So,
Absolutely.
but that's coming along with the educational part of telling your clients, because I had to tell a client the other day, they were like, well, it wasn't even my client. It was my physical therapist. She told me she was buying a house, but she needed a new car. I don't know why her broker didn't have this conversation with her before she started buying the house, looking for a house. I said, listen, I don't know if your broker told you, but I'm going to tell you to help her out because I want you to get this property. If you go buy a car, you're not closing the deal.
You killed the deal.
You killed the deal because what they said that you can qualify for is based off the debt that you currently have on the table. You add any new debt to this equation, it is going to change the trajectory of this transaction because now your debt to income ratio has exceeded. And do you have FHA loan? Yes. I said, oh yes, really you.
You're
I said
done.
that
You're
baby,
done.
if you conventional, we have some wiggle room. But you
Yep.
at the max if they gave you
Absolutely.
FHA. So no, you cannot go buy a car. And I had to break it down to it. Now, mind you, I'm at the physical therapy appointment, breaking down to my therapist why she shouldn't buy a car. But I'm confused why the broker that she's paying her commissions to didn't explain to her what her social security number looks like when she's buying a property. It's in hostage mode. You cannot, I told them, don't use your social security number. If somebody asks you for your social security number, tell them I'm unable to provide it for you now. I have it locked in the vault because I'm trying to buy a property.
Right. I'm out. I'm out. We're not doing that. Nope.
We
Nope.
can't
Nope.
do
Nope.
that.
Nope. Yeah.
We
No, not
cannot
at
do
all.
that. That is the first conversation I have with my clients who are doing financing, explaining to them what that looks like if they use their credit. Then I have the conversation of how much money you need. Yes, I know they're going to give you 50,000 programs and credits, but you have to show that you had the money that you no longer need to bring to the closing table available if you had to bring it to the table. You
Right.
cannot buy a house with $0 in a bank account.
No, you cannot
You
do that.
need to have at least 10% of the selling price just for show and tell. You may
Because
never
you got to
use it.
show that you got income, and you can pay
You
you
got to
can at
show
least
us
a
you
couple
have
payments.
the
At least you got a
exact
couple payments of coverage. A
yes.
couple. Yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That type of education. That's so how much money you got in the bank? But
Mm-hmm.
do you have 401k? Okay, so let's backtrack. But that's educating your client. You know, I did have one lady tell me, she was like, this was information overload. And she's like, this was a lot. I said, I know, but I need you to know what you need to know so that we can get to the closing table. It is a lot. It's a scary transaction, but I'll have you all the way to the end. I go to all of my closings, all of them. I don't come until it's about halfway over because I know how long they take. So if they got to
Right.
be there at 8, 10 o'clock, I ain't showing up about 11:30, you know. But I go because one, I want them to, a lot of times stuff happens. And when I walk through the door, they're asking me questions about the transaction. Well, they said, and I'm looking through my email. Yeah, we did get an email for that. Let me find it and help you out. Or something's happening. Where the keys at? Or it's something. And then I go and then what was the credit we were supposed to get? Something, some little nuance always occurs when I show up. I don't know why. They do. Even with my cash deals, it's just something. So I always go and let them know that I'm here, especially for my first time home buyers. I'm here with you. For my first time sellers, I'm here with you. I'm not going to be
Mm-hmm.
here when you get there, but I'll be here when you in. And then to pick up my check to make sure my check
Right.
is right. Because I've gotten to the closing table and looked at the HUD one and my check was wrong. After the checks have been
Mm.
dispersed, the deal is over. Your check is what it is.
Right. Right.
Even
Right.
though I
Absolutely.
sent a commission
I've
statement,
had that. I've had that many a time where like I'll have the other side come back and be like, oh, there was a mistake. I'm like, bro, the deal's done.
God, you should have been at the closing table to know that it was a mistake.
Right. I mean, like I've had buyers come back and be like, oh, the rent prorations are all wrong. I'm like, that's not my fault. The deal is done. You
It's
should
done.
have brought that up. That's what your attorney is for. If your
Yes,
attorney doesn't know what they're doing, that's not my fault, right?
exactly.
I mean,
Hmm.
I've actually, look, I'm not saying that I'm perfect and we don't make mistakes, right? Mistakes happen, but
Because
I've
we
written checks to my clients to cover mistakes.
okay.
I'll do it. Like I have to, right?
Yes, to keep your
Um,
reputation. Absolutely.
it's my integrity, right? And it's my character.
Absolutely. Yes, definitely.
No, we don't.
Definitely.
I make
You
damn
try
sure
not
we
to
don't
have to
have
do
that
it
problem,
often. Right. That part.
right? Let me tell you, I have fought fiercely for earnest money that we got for one reason got expired or something happened, and like the seller's like, yeah, I'm not paying that back, and I have viciously fought for that earnest money. Like, listen, I'm a nice, And I'm not nice. I'm very
But
easygoing. I'm
fair.
very cooperative. I'm fair, right? I'm very fair. But let me tell you, these arbos, they're really sharp. I will
Yeah.
cut you. I will not hesitate to cut you.
I mean, sometimes you have to. I mean, I done had to go toe to toe with some people about my clients. I'm like, listen, we're not about to do this. I don't know what you think this is, but it is not that. My client needs this, needs that. And so when I'm doing my own transactions, this is the my other attorney I work with, they help me on the transaction. And he was like, I just love how you talk about your stuff in third party because I'm the broker and the buyer. And I'm
Buyer
on a
has said,
well, the buyer doesn't agree with what you
I'm very familiar with that. I'm very
I,
familiar with that.
I
Yes,
try my best not to get into come out as the buyer because as a buyer I'm vicious, but
right,
as a buyer broker I'm remaining this is me being professional. So the buyer
correct.
doesn't agree with what you're saying because this is how we thought that this is what we all thought that we were all on the same page, and I'll
Wearing
leave
a
that.
totally different hat.
Wearing two different hats for the same transaction. It happens. So this presentation, I mean, this workshop is definitely great for information. And some of the information may seem like it's only for a broker or
Yep.
attorney or a
No, no,
loan.
it's not. And it's
It's,
and we're gonna have we're gonna give you the if you come and show up, you'll get a link for the presentation, and you'll get. And the plan is we're gonna have breakdown of here's the lawyer what they're supposed to do, and then just a breakdown of all the things that you're gonna need, right? So then you can take this away and use it for your transactions in the future and make sure you get what you're supposed to get, right? And if you talk to someone and they're not giving you those things, then you know who to call. You call Tiffany because she'll get it done. You'll call
yes,
Aaron because he'll get it done. You'll call me because I'll get it done. And listen, we have God has blessed us. Whatever is coming to me is coming to me, right?
yes.
And if for whatever reason you don't like the bow tie, you want a different attorney, I'll find you another attorney.
Yes,
But I can
absolutely.
guarantee
And
you
like
that
I
the
told
bow
you,
tie
I refer
rocks.
you. I have other brokers in the office with me, and if you don't like our brokerage, we can. I have partnerships. I have people that I've done business with, and I referred them business, and they refer me business because everybody.
Absolutely.
I tell people all the time, everybody is just not meant to work with everyone. You know,
True.
it doesn't mean that you're a bad person or you don't do good business.
No,
Sometimes
they just don't
personality
fit.
don't fit and mesh. What your wants are may not be like we're doing this presentation in Downers Grove. I'm not driving to Downers Grove to sell a piece of real estate.
Got it. But
I'm
you're coming to the presentation.
I'm coming. Yes, I'm coming to the presentation. I'm here.
You're saying I'm not driving it down the road. I'm like, no, no, no. I'll send you a
Every
car.
3 or 4 times a day, to do showings, that's a lot for
That's a
me
lot.
to
Where do you
drive
live?
that far out. I live in West Pullman, in Chicago, in West Pullman, where my
Oh,
business.
West Pullman.
Yes,
Yeah.
I live in the community I was born and raised in. I went to college and moved back to the same community. My
Well,
office is
we need to do another one of these in West Pullman.
yes,
Do you have a
definitely.
location?
So listen, on June 19th, I am doing a client appreciation celebration outside my
Okay.
office. I have tents and everything. So you can partner with me and you can do it out here for then. So we'll do
I
one out
love it.
there
I'll tell you what,
and
how
then
many people you got coming?
to the celebration. I haven't finalized. I'm working on the logistics of it, but I'm planning to solicit to 50 or more people because
Is
we're
this
gonna
the
have
first time you're
food.
doing it?
This is the first time I'm doing it. We're gonna have
All right.
food. We're gonna have bouncy house for the kids while the parents. It's gonna be like a housing seminar. So
So
for
I got a
buying.
question.
Yes.
I'm willing to throw something your way if you're open to it.
Okay.
I'm happy to bring a stuffed lamb.
Okay.
Have you ever had lamb?
Yes, I eat lamb. I love lamb.
I'm just
Yes.
making sure, because there's some people like, oh, I don't like eat lamb. And you're like,
I
bro,
don't eat.
listen, white people do not know how to make lamb. So if you're eating lamb and there's a mint jelly next to it, run. That is not
Run.
how
That
you
is
eat
not
lamb.
right. That is not
That's
how
not,
you eat
you
it.
don't eat lamb, right?
No. Just as long as I don't eat pork.
Yes,
That's
no
the only.
pork.
Okay.
I don't
No
do pork.
pork.
Wait, are you Muslim?
No, but I used to practice the faith when I was younger. Yes.
Ah, I knew
So
I
I don't.
liked you for a reason. Nothing against non-Muslims, but
Right.
there's this.
Yes, but I
Yes,
haven't
yes,
eaten pork since I was 16 years old. But no, I don't eat pork. My siblings don't eat it either. So,
I love
uh,
it.
yes,
I
but
love it's
my mom eat everything.
right. I don't think people I didn't know this as I was growing up, but the Islam, how intertwined it is within the black community,
Oh yes.
um, and people think, oh, it's because of the nation. I'm like, no, no,
No,
no, no, no, no, no,
no,
no.
Israelites. It's a whole. We have a whole. Yeah, it's a whole. It's our calling. It's our God-given gift. Our mission. We're His children. Like
We are.
read the Bible. He talks about the Israelites and them being His children, who He helped and protected. He took them out of slavery and gave them their own land and all of that. But that's a whole nother story for another day. But no, I
Whole
don't
nother
eat pork.
conversation.
Yes.
Because that's not those aren't the same Israelites right now.
No, they're not.
Not the same.
Definitely. Whole different, yes. Yes.
I
So
learned something the other day that there's a theory going out there. I know this is totally off track, but there's a theory out there that the Palestinians are actually the original Jews.
the Palestinians are the original Jews. It's a
Yes.
theory out there.
So the theory is that there was no mass exodus of Jews out of Palestine, and
But it
so
was. He took them away from the land. A lot of them have moved away from the land. But it's a whole. But the Palestinians that are there are Palestinians are that's their land. They're taken away from people who were already there. That's like me saying, "Come over here and stay with me." And when you
right.
move into my house, you're gonna kick me out. That's what they're trying to do now. Like, make it make sense. Like, you came to visit my land and you're gonna tell me it's your land. No, it's not. It's my land. I allowed you to come and visit, doesn't give you the rights to my land. The Palestinians
Right. I
are
gave you protection.
yes, I
I
gave you
gave you
protection.
protection.
You
Yes.
you all are the original holders of that land. I know this. I have friends.
Thank
I
you.
have a good friend, real good friend of mine. She's Palestinian. Her family is from
Oh,
there. Yes.
really?
Yes.
Did she wish? Have her come?
I'm gonna invite her. Well, she has to work in the daytime, so she won't be able to make it. But I'm gonna invite her. She probably will be off for the Juneteenth event. She'll probably come. But yes,
Awesome. Well,
yes.
if you like, so a full lamb will serve about 30 people,
Okay,
right? So
cool. I
if you've
guess
got
like
other food and
grill it.
lamb,
Yes, because I'm gonna have them out there grilling. Hot dogs, hamburgers.
absolutely. Not everybody
Uh,
likes lamb, but it's a special thing, right?
lamb,
But
yeah, special occasion. Yes, definitely. We'll grill that too. Yes, we're gonna have food there.
all right, I
It's
gotta
gonna
see
be
what I'm doing. I don't want to I'm making commitments here for shit that I don't even know if I'm going to be available. Let me see. What Juneteenth? Where's
it's
Juneteenth?
a Friday, June 19th, on a Friday.
June
It's gonna be from 2 to 6. It's in the evening. Well, afternoon, early
I'm
afternoon,
going to
late
be in
afternoon.
San Diego.
See, I figured that.
I might be in San Diego.
Okay,
All right,
it's
I got to
fine.
double check that. So let me see if I'm still going to do that. But yes, I tell you what,
But
I will still sponsor it, and I will still send the lamb, and I will send some of my
you have
team to come
somebody
hang
from your
out.
team that can represent you because I want to.
Absolutely.
I have a because I was going to ask you anyway because I do have one of my lending partners. You know Brian Sewell from
Yes.
Guild Mortgage. So he's one of
Yes.
my sponsors. And then I have my insurance guy from Mogolian Insurance, Ryan Wilkins. You ever heard of him before?
Mm-mm. I don't
So
think so. Maybe.
he's my insurance partner that's going to sponsor for the insurance. But I still needed an attorney.
I would be honored.
Okay, and you're gonna be the person. So, at first, listen, I had to do a deal with you first. I said, let me get a deal on the books because Vera always sends me these things. It was like, well, how do we do in business? I'm like, but we haven't done any official business. We just been doing podcasts together. I was like, so I can't rate the business. I gotta do the transaction first. I'm
Fair.
that kind of
Fair.
person. And I said, once I do a transaction, I'll let you know. I was like, I like him as a person, like he cool, but I haven't did any business, so I can't tell you. But right now you're doing good. Like I told you, when I got the email, I was like, oh, this is cool. And then it came and said the close. I said, oh, I like this. The updates. I was like, okay, we're treading in the right direction.
Well, we're actually doing we're going to be upgrading our software coming up in the next week or so to add some extra things, and hopefully, I'm hoping that once we do that upgrade by the end of the year, um, I'm exploring the idea of having an app
Okay.
where you open it up and it'll tell you where you're at in the transaction and what stage and what you're waiting for and what you need and what documents are missing. And if you need the documents, to upload those documents, and you can sign the documents all through the app. So
That
I'm
be
I'm not sure if we're gonna go. We're exploring it, right? But we got it's stages. But okay. So I'm gonna ask a favor of you.
okay.
I want feedback.
Feedback on the
Everything.
transaction.
Yeah.
Everything.
So if there's something we could do better, if something you recommend, if you have some ideas for us, not that I'll take them all, but I do keep track of some of the things that people suggest to improve our process and make things better. We're constantly improving, right?
But I
I'm
think
all about constant improvement.
I think the app will be great because I was explaining to Vera when I was speaking with her, because we talk a lot too. And I was explaining to her the thing that I dread the most about a transaction is the 101 email chains. We start one chain and then it ends up somebody start another chain. We have right now 3 chains going on. I have 3 different email chains. I started one when I sent the contract over. Then your team started one, and then the seller team started one. And I bet you the closing department gonna start one. And it's like we're all over the place. So now I gotta find out which email did somebody send me that document or that notification to, versus on the app. If you're telling us the stages and what's missing, you putting in that app the things that they can see and they can track their transaction. So if me as the broker, and I got 7 different deals going on, and I've got 700 emails, and each deal has 4 different email chains, it's just
Well, all right. So a couple things on it. So there's email chains where it's just between us and our client,
correct.
our side of the transaction,
Correct.
right? And then on top of that, there should be another chain with everybody on the transaction.
Correct.
And sometimes you want to have a conversation with the title company and the lender that you don't want to bring the seller into.
Correct. So that's another chain of emails.
That's
But
three
if it was
chains.
with 3 chains, but if it was one button I can click as the person that's receiving all of those
Oh,
notifications.
I got it. I got it. So if you had the app,
If
you're
I had
in.
the app, I'm in. So everything that was supposed to be pertaining to me comes into the documents that you all sent me, all of the back and forth questions on my part.
And here's the cool part. As a broker, we tie you in to all your deals on the app.
Correct.
So then you have the app as the broker, and you'll see all of your deals and look at all of them because those are related to you. And
Correct.
so
And then
you'll know what's going on all your deals just by looking at one app.
yes, and as the seller, whatever he needs between you and him and the title, whatever. And it's even though it's 5 different threads, but it's like when you know how some things you just click in and it's a drill down for. So we're at the attorney review period. So in the attorney review period, the only people that's talking right now is the you and the buyer, or you or the seller, right?
Right.
Now, once you have agreed on the changes or whatever, then you have a signed document. Now you post the actual signed document, because sometimes in that same thread we got 5 documents that everybody needs to sign, and we don't have the executed document, but it's in 25 other emails, and somewhere along one of the people saying, I didn't ever get this disclosure, and it was in the first email, and the other 5 threads, or the title company telling you they missing something we sent 7 days ago. But if you had an app I tell my clients, I said, listen, all of your documentation you sent to the lender, keep it in a folder on your phone somewhere, because they're gonna ask you 7 more times for the same document that they asked you for three days ago.
Mhm. Keep it in a
So
folder.
the
Put
longer
it
it takes
someplace where you same online or on your phone somewhere.
you
Keep it so that we're
somewhere,
always tapping into it.
so you can send it right back to them immediately. Because the longer it takes you to respond to them, just pushes your file to the bottom of the deck,
Mm-hmm.
which prolongs your closing process. This is an expeditious process. Everything is time sensitive. I explained that to my clients, but the average broker don't, because they don't know. They don't
Right.
understand that the closing, the title company, the lender, the person that you talk to about the loan is not the one that's processing the loan. So you send him that information. Now he has sent it to the back end department. Now they're processing it and they're asking you for the same 5 documents he just sent them. Now they want you to send it to Susan in the closing department in the background. Now once they have gotten through the processing and they got through the approval and all of that. Now they have a whole nother department that actually does the closing packet. Now they asking for something else. You're like, then I just send it. I don't ask because I don't work for the title for the loan office or the title company. But you need to send them back that information, because the moment the closer asks you for something and you wait to send it, they're gonna slide your file at the bottom and they say we're waiting on some documentation. They're gonna start working on the next files that's in there. But if you send it back to them while they have your file on their desk today, they're gonna add your stuff in and send it back to underwriting and have underwriting look at it again. And before you go back to the bottom of the pile, now you wonder why it's taking them 4 days to get back to you, because now you're back at the pile. They're rotating you all through the file system. But because people don't know the transaction process, they don't understand how that works. And they wonder why they deal didn't close in 21 days or 30 days. And now they 60 days in, because it's taking everybody else to get the information back.
I don't think people realize that on every real estate transaction, there's probably about 30 people who are touching a file,
Yes.
right? You've you've got the lender and their back end. There's got about 3 or 4 people or 5 people on the back end with a lender. Because then you on the lender side, you've got the broker, the underwriter, then their closer, right? And then they've got somebody, there's at least another assistant that's there that's pulling them together. And then on the broker side, you've got the real estate broker, the sales broker, the buyer's broker, the attorney, the buyer's attorney, and then you have and each one has their own, and then you have the title company.
Or a team. And then they
And
team,
each
whoever
one
they
has
have.
3 or 4 people on that team.
Yes. And we're not
Without
talking about if you're doing an appraisal, if you're financing appraisal, if you're doing a inspection, that's somebody else that's sending in another report. It's like a whole lot of working parts, but you have to explain that to your clients. So when there's a holdup, and they're the holdup, a lot of times the clients, well, I had to work and I didn't know they needed that back right now. Yes. He asked you for this at 10 o'clock this morning. It's 5 o'clock. So now it's 5 o'clock. Your file has moved to the bottom of the pile because tomorrow they have a whole lot of other piles that they're working on. Educating your client. Because the deal gonna fall apart if you don't. I'm gonna tell you. Because no offense to anybody on the transaction, but the people that hold the deals together are the brokers. Because we're the ones that talk to every
Absolutely.
single part.
Absolutely. I tell my team all the time, they're like, well, we can't get hold of the client. I'm like, call the broker. They can't get hold of the client, call the broker.
Call the broker, because we're gonna get the client.
If you have a problem with the lender, call the broker, right?
Yes.
You guys will, because everybody comes to you for the deal and you're going to everybody else. So you are the one who has everybody's pull. So I'm always telling them, go back to the broker, use the broker. The broker can help you. They are our ally. Work with them, help them. So yeah. Well, perfect. So we've been on this thing for an hour and 18 minutes.
Yes, because we both like to talk.
We do. We only have 2 hours at this event, by the way, just so you know. So we have to keep
I'm really fast with my information. You all may have to tell me to slow down.
Got it. Okay. So April 13th.
Dialogue than me.
Yes. All right. So April 13th from 2 to 4. The address is 1333. Let me just double check that because we'll make sure everybody has the right address. The address is, we're going to be held at Neighborhood Home Loans. The address is 1333 Butterfield Road in Downers Grove, Suite 600. 1333 Butterfield Road, Suite 600, Downers Grove. We're going to put an Eventbrite. I'm going to drop it in our chats. Tiffany, do you have the Eventbrite? I
Yes,
think you
I
should have
have.
the Eventbrite link. Yes. So we're going to drop that out to our people. Listen, if you come to our websites and our social media, you will see discount codes so that way you can attend for free. All right. If you're paying for it, wonderful. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. That goes towards the food, right? And we're going to have amazing food. I'm going to bring shawarma, some Middle Eastern food. I might even bring some Middle Eastern desserts. It's
Okay.
if you just come and enjoy the food, forget everybody else. You may want to hear us talk, but from offer to close, you're going to hear it from the lender, you're going to hear it from the broker, you're going to hear it from the attorney as to what do you need and what are you looking for. If you are a broker, this is great for you. If you're a lender, this is great for you. If you are a buyer of a home, this is great for you. If you're selling a home, this is great for you. If you're an investor, this is good for you. This is that event that will teach you and tell you all the pieces that you were missing. And you get to ask questions. And you'll walk away with a presentation with details of what to expect from each professional. Anything else, Tiff?
So I look forward to seeing all of you all come out. And
Absolutely.
we have as you can tell, we can talk a lot, but we have a wealth of information. We have years
We
of
do.
experience.
We
And
do.
so we just want to make sure that everyone is able to buy their home and live comfortably in this world that we live in.
Absolutely. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for this woman. Tiffany has been an amazing partner.
Thank you.
I have referred her. I mean, what we haven't talked about is her property management expertise. I have referred her to my clients to help them with property management, and she's been fantastic. She's been great. She's done things that other property managers weren't unable to do, and I'm really proud and really impressed with how she's done things and how she's worked. Extremely professional, very detailed, the very high C. You got to do that DISC assessment. I'm telling you, you're a total high C, and a high I, right? Like I think you're right. Anyways,
I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna look for it.
absolutely. Yes. Tiffany, thank you very much. I think I'm gonna do a little clapping. Does it clap? Can I do that live clapping? I don't know. There, okay.
Are you getting the sound? Well, I'll see you when.
That was okay. We'll see you April 13th.
April 13th.
Yes, absolutely. Take care. Thank you so much, Tiffany.